I did.
All right. No, I gotta get fucking set. I mean, this pisses me off. Like, my shit barely works half the time when I want it to work. Now I gotta add more shit to it. I've got all the stuff downloaded. I'm gonna fuck with it tomorrow.
He's going to fuck with it tomorrow, and so will the Sharks in overtime. What an intro!
Demonetized.
We'll break down this game, and holy crap, what a crazy game this was between the Sharks and the Oilers right now on Teal Town After Dark. Oh, wow. If that wasn't the best intro, I don't know what is since Game 7 against Vegas. Yes, I did say Game 7. Good evening, everyone. It is Monday night, March 20th, 2023. The Sharks lose in dramatic fashion, 5-4 in overtime to the Edmonton Oilers. And we welcome you to this edition of Teal Town After Dark, your live interactive Sharks post-game. We do this after every game, so if you want to be part of the show, chat with us and fellow Sharks fans on the YouTube page and the app. You can also join us now on Twitch as well. We say hello to Felix on the Twitch chat as well, along with the YouTube chat. So check us out everywhere on the social, whether that's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, SoundCloud, Reddit, Discord, TikTok, Twitch, and everything at tealtownusa.com. And if you want to support the show, you can use the Venmo at tealtownusa or hit us up in the super chat. And with that, I say, how the heck are you, Ian Reid?
I'm great. Just ranting about shit, not realizing we're live. That's fine.
That's probably my bad. But you're providing the best intro ever. Is
yes, Ian whining about OBS is the best. The best, bro.
What a game. I mean, again, goes into the option that we've always said this year is at least we're entertained, and boy, howdy, this was entertaining.
No, I totally fucked it up to worse, didn't I? I don't know. There, maybe try
that. I gotcha. What a game, dude.
Yeah. I mean, look, this game kind of had it all. Well, maybe not all. I mean, no one punched each other in the head, so we didn't have that.
That's good.
What have I done to my camera? Okay.
You're fine. You're fine.
Okay.
Dude, you're all good, man.
I know I'm watching the YouTube stream, which is, of course, a million miles behind. Yeah, look, I mean, yeah, it was an entertaining game. I was entertained. There was a lot going on, I think. And it was nice to just get back to hockey again, too.
Yeah, no, to get focused back onto the sport that we actually love. However, of course, James Reimer was in net, and granted, he had a hell of a game.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, look at credit where credit is due. I've said my piece on James Reimer last night. If you wanna know what Ian thinks about James Reimer, go watch Bucknologist last night. I said my piece there. The only thing that I would echo without going into anything is it's not my voice you should be listening to anyway. It's the voice of the people in the community affected. That being said, and moving on, I think, yeah, look, he had a hell of a game. I mean, some of those saves that he made at the end of the third in overtime were absolutely ridiculous. Just ridiculous, right?
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, look at, is this the result that we want? No, obviously not. I mean, I joked on the show last night that when, it was time to make predictions for the week, I said 3 loser points. So I'm 1 for 3 so far. I'll see if I can make it 3 for 3. Because that's the Sharks at this point, right?
Yeah.
Like, and I know people are like messaging, like, bleep at Twitter and like, if they didn't have all these, like, I know, I'm aware, like, I get it, I know the score, but at this point, man, like, sometimes some robots just want to watch the world burn.
Well, it's burning right now. The Sharks pick up a point. How? Sorry, it's doing my Curtis Brown impression there. How? Well, let's break it down. A minute in, the Sharks got on the board. Hurdle had a nice pass from Barabanov. That gets challenged by Jay Woodcroft. Currently, Barabanov was just a scotch offside.
Just a little offside. He was way offside. Like that, such a clean cut call. And it's funny because no, I'm going to be nice tonight. No, I'm not doing it. I'm just going to be nice tonight. No, You know what? I always preach like be kind, right? And be kind. And I'm not. I think that some people look at these plays, and we're going to talk about more than one tonight, and they were all like, yeah, a lot calls. Of shit got reviewed. They were all the right call.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you want to have conspiracy theories about how the NHL hates the Sharks, like, I don't know, like open a fucking rule book.
But
it's online.
Yeah. I feel for the person who has got to put out the graphics for explaining all these challenges though tonight. But I will say to Nick Gialdini, and I don't remember the Oilers video coach. They earn their money tonight. Make sure they get their raises in that one. So remain no score. You keep going. Kane takes a couple of penalties in the early going. Barabanov was on a roll tonight.
Yeah, he had a great game. Erik Karlsson had a great game. I'm the way I'm going to play this season out is when the Sharks have all these loser points, I'm just going to blame it on Erik Karlsson at the end of the season. Yeah, and I'm sure I'll get all the likes. It'll be great.
Caleb Pitts in the YouTube chat, right? All the likes. Let's get those likes going anyways already. Sharks having fun games and picking up an occasional point is what I'm here for by and large. Michael Lamb, Oilers fan on YouTube. Sharks and Oilers played a great game. Ricky Barton Slayer, calling back goals is helping the Sharks. Oh, man.
I mean, if you're going to take the time to review it, though, at least get it right. And tonight they got it right. Like, everything that they reviewed was the right call.
Yeah. And it was the correct call. Even the one after Bukestad got his 16th of the season to tie it up, just like a minute and a half after Barabanov gets his 15th to open the scoring. Hyman on the power play.
He's in the crease, and James Reimer cannot go to that side of the net. And, I mean, it's goaltender interference. Now, you always get, I always get kind of weird about goaltender interference because sometimes I think we look at something and we're like, that's goaltender interference, and then it turns out not to be. Right. So I always get a little squirrel. I was a little bit questioning it, but I was like, no, this has got to be goaltender interference. And tonight again, like the right calls were made.
Yeah. So that made it 1-1 after one, and then 1980s call. They got their second period back in this one. 30 seconds in, you get Yamamoto with his 10th of the season. Sharks thought they got the tying goal back with Andreas Janssen's first goal as a Shark, but no, Couture was in the crease. He interfered with Jack Campbell, who's making his first start, which seems in forever for Edmonton. And then the Sharks get on a roll,
Jack Campbell. I mean, I feel bad for Jack Campbell because I like Jack Campbell, but I don't think he's been particularly good this year. It's hard, man. Like, you look at, like, I look at this Oilers team, and I think that there's definitely a second round team because they're going to pull who are they going to pull? They're going to pull LA. Like, I feel like that should be a series, right? Like, I think that's a win for the. I'm not impressed at all by the LA Kings. So I think, if the Edmonton Oilers pull the LA Kings, I think that's an easy round for them. But beyond that, I don't know.
Yeah, I think goaltending, let's be honest, goaltending was the key here, I think. And I think they thought they had it in Jack Campbell, but he's been off. Thankfully, Stuart Skinner's been playing very well for the Oilers late. He made the All-Star team at the last minute and has kept him in it. The win gets him the 40th of the year for Edmonton, 88 points, and they looked pretty decent. However, the Sharks kept being in this game. Lawrence had a great hand-eye coordination shot on the breakaway after he got stopped to make it 2-2. Then Carlson gets a sweet pass from Fabian Zetterlund to in a nice deep pass Campbell to make it 3-2. Yes, Ekholm would come back. Apparently, if you're nicknamed EK or Ek, you had a good night. Ekholm with the nice play to tie it up, and then Carlson comes back. Almost like Carlson had a vengeance that he's like, okay, I'm going to show these guys, even though I wasn't contacted about a trade, I'm making my case for you on your ice tonight.
Yeah, maybe. I mean he was on something tonight, because I think this was it's hard to say like his best game in a while. I think he's had a bunch of pretty good games, but obviously things worked for him tonight. Like everything that seemed like Erik Karlsson touched, like it went well. Like sometimes things just go your way, and I think tonight was one of those things for Erik Karlsson. So.
Yeah, Karlsson with 2 goals, 2 points. He gets to 87 on the campaign. 13 games to go. 13 points to get to 100. 11 games to go. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna come down to it if it's gonna get close.
Yeah, and it's nice to see. Look at Egazino got a point on the Lawrence goal. And that's awesome for Egazino, right? Like Egazino is a guy who I like. I like Egazino a lot. I think he's been a great captain for the Barracuda this year, and it's nice. I understand why he's called up, and I think it's nice. I'm curious, man, because obviously with Johnson getting out of this game, and if he didn't return, so if he's serious now, I'm curious now that they're gonna have to call someone up, like who's coming up. It's obviously not going to be Eklund, because regardless of what the Sharks told us, we all know that this is strictly a business decision. This is all about sliding his contract. So I'm curious who comes up. I posed the question on Twitter, and a few people responded right away saying Jeff Viel, and that's I can't argue with that. That's probably a good shout. I could see that happening. But I am curious to see, because obviously, look, we know the score, and I've talked about this before, but we know the score obviously when it comes to the role of the AHL team. Like, this is their job, right? To get pillaged when things go wrong injury wise on the NHL team. This schedule for the Barracuda, not to turn this into a Barracuda show, this schedule for the Barracuda, I went over it on another show just recently, is ridiculously hard. There's only a couple games in there where I think that they should win, and there's no way around it. But there's a lot of pain there too. There's more games against Texas, a team that they went 50-50 with. They've got a couple games coming up against Colorado, and Colorado's played pretty good. Yeah, so it's going to be they have a tough road ahead of them as far as trying to get into the playoffs. On the plus side, the team that they're chasing, the Tucson Roadrunners, they have a pretty tough schedule too. So they have that working to their advantage at least. But this Barracuda team really can't afford too many more losses to their roster, especially of guys that just play regularly.
Right. We got a lot of comments in here as you're talking. The Barracuda, Jesse Littlefield on YouTube saying, is that Cease's music?
CJ Cease is another guy who could definitely come up again. That wouldn't surprise me either. I don't know. Jeff Biel's been kind of on a tear lately, so I think you could make a good argument for either or, because CJ Cease has obviously been a guy who they've called up a few times. Jeff Biel's been on a tear though, kind of like Egazino's been. So. I would lean VL over Cease at this point, but we'll see. We'll see.
And also,
I mean, hopefully, and I don't want to obviously I hope Johnson's fine, right? I'm not like, oh man, he's injured, this is amazing. No, obviously, I would really wish that people would stop getting injured on the Sharks, because the Barracuda have actually been enjoyable to watch this month, and I'm kind of tired of the Sharks pillaging the roster. on this playoff push.
Right? Yeah, it's been tough, and just another Randy G. Although it's been answered in the question here, you know, Bordelot's been an all-star and
Mhm.
everything. How's he been in the A? But he's been struggling lately.
He's been
It's
strong.
almost like he
Yeah,
missed Eklund a little bit.
I think I don't know. Here's the thing, right? Eklund and Bordelot don't really play together all that much unless it's the power play. I think Bordelot has kind of hit a little bit of a slump at kind of the worst possible time, and I think it's kind of I think he's in his head a little bit. I think look at obviously this is the time of year when you see Eklund get called up and you're thinking, oh man, that could be me, but I just can't put the puck in the net right now. And I think when you have a situation like that where nothing's really going your way and other guys are starting to get guys are starting to get called up that you would expect to get called up based on being an actual meritocracy. I think that kind of probably compounds his frustration. So I feel bad for Bordelot because I think he was so good for so long this season. And yeah, has he played his best hockey of late? I would say no. But I think with the timing of it and everything else, I think it's unfortunate because I think that overall, I mean, if you're looking at guys who I think have been great for the Barracuda, and if you want me to give final marks at the end of the year, Bordelot gets like an A. Like it's not even a question. I just don't think he's finished particularly strong. Yeah, in the chat bringing up that Gadjevich is traveling, so maybe he comes back in. So yeah, maybe Gadjevich comes back in. It could be that simple too. But if they do call somebody up, I'm curious to see who it is.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Johnson is out. You would think Gadget's ready to go. He'll jump in and
well, he should just swap back in, right?
Yeah. And poor Kevin LeBanc will be scratched again for Vancouver. No, I'm kidding. He's been playing better lately. He didn't take a penalty in this one, folks.
He didn't even I don't even think he got put in the box to serve someone else's penalty. So I mean, wins all across the board.
Hey, they only had 3 penalties in this game. Kudos to them. 0 for 3 for the Oilers power play tonight. I mean, shoot, come on. Especially 50. Now NHL.com is saying 51 shots. Damn you. Damn you for changing everything on me here, making me look like an idiot. All right. Third period, Eklund gets a tying goal after Edmonton gets 2 posts. Early on, including McDavid, who had a breakaway. It's like, come on. I mean, if you're taking
the cheat code,
dude, seriously. And then Eklund just, I don't know, gets 10 feet away and just slaps one in. Like, goodness gracious. And then, did the Sharks even have a quality scoring chance in overtime? I think Edmonton just kept going back and forth, and just nothing was happening.
I don't think so. Nothing. I mean, no. Edmonton kind of just dominated that entire overtime. I think the only thing that surprised me about the overtime was it wasn't that Edmonton won. It was just that it took that long to win and took that many shots to win. Because again, credit to James Reimer. I think he played the end of that game. Like he made some absolutely ridiculous saves.
Yeah, like he made one late in the third period on Draisaitl during that late power play that looked very similar to Nabokov, Brad Richards. Reimer supposedly doing his job.
Yeah, we have super chat, so hit that up.
Oh, thank you so much. Sorry, we got a little sidetracked there. Brian Smith,
we do that.
Thank you very much for the $2 super chat on YouTube. So EK is winning the Norris, right?
I think so. I mean, I know that some people are like, oh, do you just play defense to win the Norris? But like, no one plays defense and wins the fucking Norris. The Norris isn't a defensive trophy. It's a, the number of points that he's put up such a stupid amount of points this season. Now, someone might, some people might be like, oh, but the Sharks aren't a playoff team, so maybe they don't give him first votes for that, and that maybe happens. I think he should win it, and it's not even just me being a Sharks fan. I think just you look at the ridiculous season that he has, like it's absolutely Norris worthy in my opinion. And I would say that if he was having the season anywhere else.
Oh, if he was having this season anywhere else, especially up in Canada, there would be so much you know,
Oh yeah, yeah.
yeah, there'd be so much of excitement.
Well, I'm in Canada, and I say he should win the North, so I win.
There we go. Good night,
There you
everyone.
have it. So
Yeah.
good night.
Yes.
Canada's spoken.
Right.
I speak for all 36 million of us.
Yeah. And of course, Andrew M asking, what's his trade value if he does win the North? I mean, would that pump it up?
See,
Obviously.
that's the tricky thing, and I did touch on this last night because my problem here is, and I look at on this show, I don't know if there's someone who's a bigger Erik Karlsson guy than I am on this show, but I will also remember how we got here. And I think that, I think it would have been easier to make a move as the playoffs approach, especially this year because he's having this North caliber season. So I think if there was a trade, I think this is when you would find it. I think it's easier in the offseason, but I wonder when a team is not trying to, add that final piece for a playoff run because no one's doing that in the summer. So I get concerned that, that a team would be like, oh yeah, we're gonna bring maybe we'll bring Erik Karlsson in, but then they kind of go, oh, but like, what about the other 3 years he was in San Jose?
Right. Almost like you want to bait the Sharks into, okay, we'll give you that idea, but
so I don't know. I think
prove it happens again, and then
I think that trade is more difficult. I think it's easier because you can do a lot more with moving parts in the summer. You can go over the cap and under the cap and whatever, right? But I think that if you don't have like that, I think teams do dumb things when they think they're going to add that final piece.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see when it happens. To me, if they win Bedard, I'd keep him.
Well, I mean, I think unless like as long as you're, I think if you're gonna trade Erik Karlsson, like, I don't know, man. I mean, like, I think because you're obviously gonna have to eat salary. The question becomes how much salary are you going to eat, and how long do the Sharks think this is going to take? Because I think like a lot of people are like, oh my God, if they draft Bedard, then him and Eklund are going to be up at the same time. Okay, that's true, but like at that point, Vlasic's off the books, and then if Karlsson is still here, or if you retain money on Karlsson, well, that money's off the books the year after. Couture's off the books the year after.
You're going to have the buyouts out soon too.
Well, I mean, there'll be so much money then, and then by that point, you're talking 3 years down the road, right? By that point, like the cap's got to do something. I don't know if it's going to go up like as much as people think it is, but I mean, the cap's got to start doing something at that point because escrow will be paid off. So then, you can ask other questions like, how's this RSN thing gonna play out? We don't know the answer to that, obviously, but I feel like also in 3 years, they should have a solution for that also. You know what I mean? Like, I think the RSN thing's obviously a big deal, but that's like next season that they're gonna have to sort that out. By 3 years, wherever all that shit falls, like they're gonna have a plan to get out of it. Whether it's by doing their own service and just eating all the money themselves. And you know what I mean? Like, yeah. So
it's going to be tough because, not to get on a tangent here, but, their streaming services are tied in with who have the rights. I think up there
it's for regional broadcasts, and that's the loophole.
Oh. So that's going to be interesting to see how that works out because I can almost think ESPN and Sportsnet will be like, hey, wait a minute here. So
yeah, I'm sure like there's going to be fights, obviously, because the national rights holders paid a lot of money, but they don't have the exclusive rights to regional games. So it'll be interesting to see what the NHL does in this situation. I don't want to get too far down this rabbit hole. Like, and just another NGS has like, isn't the cap going up like $10 million in 3 years? Maybe. I'll believe when I see it because every year it feels like they've been like, oh man, escrow is going to be paid off and the cap's going up, and then we get to the time where the cap's actually supposed to move and it's $1 million.
I will go on record and say, if COVID doesn't happen and everything is hunky-dory, Timo Meier's still a Shark because they have enough money to sign him, sign Hurdle, keep Karlsson. I mean, let's be honest.
But Maybe, but who knows? Because again, like, um, again, new regime. So
True.
obviously, if Mike Greer didn't think that he could fit Timo Meier, I mean, obviously, look at if Mike Greer doesn't go out and sign some of these contracts that he signed after he got rid of Burns, like then there would have been plenty of money for Timo Meier. But
Right.
I don't know. I mean, you'd think, but maybe. But at the same time, like, it is still a new regime, so maybe Timo Meier is. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question. It's speculative. Um, I don't know. I don't cover the team that exists in a weird parallel universe. I cover the team that is today.
Yes. And speaking of today, for those asking, Erik Karlsson's time on ice in overtime was 3 minutes 18 seconds.
Yeah, there you go.
So he was down like he was off for like a minute. It seemed like so. When Nurse scored the overtime goal, I'm sure some will be like, "Oh, he was lazy. He was being lazy with the like." No, he played like
They got
3/4 of overtime.
I mean, the Sharks got super hemmed in their own end for extended periods of time. It's hard to make a line change when that's happening. And, you know, playing a long shift is absolutely brutal in hockey. I mean, I appreciate that these guys are in peak form. But yeah, man, that's it's not easy.
Yeah, yeah. Steve Rector. Oh no, now there's a Shark verse too. Yes.
Yeah, there's a parallel universe out there somewhere where the Sharks are like the dynasty, but we're stuck in this crappy universe where they just win overtime, where they lose overtime games and fuck their chances of getting Connor Bedard.
Yeah. So the Sharks pick up a point here. Edmonton needed this one badly to get back into it, but man, it makes you wonder. Now, see, oh, what are you laughing at?
I'm just laughing. My camera keeps going to the moon.
Oh,
I don't know what's going on. I need some tape or something.
no, it was the Sharks made NHL history tonight.
Did they? Love it.
Yes, that was the 31st time they held the lead and then lost it, matching the 05-06 St. Louis Blues, who were bad and they really felt bad. But also just another Randy G crediting Uncle Darren Stevens. The Sharks have lost 24 games after scoring first this season.
Yeah, I mean, look at this team sucks. I mean, there's no other way to slice it. This team sucks.
Yeah, and this one was a tough one. A big win for Edmonton. The last two ones have really kind of vaulted them right back into the division race with Vegas at 92 and then LA at 90, Edmonton at 88. Seattle's just kind of been falling apart lately, where they're clinging on at 83 points, with Calgary, 4 points behind Winnipeg at 81 and Calgary at 77, excuse me. So, come on, Seattle. For frick's sakes, you were in first place like over
yeah, but then they stopped outscoring their problems.
It's like they need a scorer that's in Windsor.
No,
right
that's
now.
not the problem. The problem is look at their goaltending. They outscored their problems for a significant portion of the year. Like, I know people will come in here and be like, "Oh my God, Ian, Martin Jones is so fucking good." No, he's not. Martin Jones. Let me bring it up right now because fuck, I love picking on Martin Jones.
Hey, pissed off, Ian. Woohoo! He's smiling though about it. So the team.
Martin Jones' save percentage is a fucking 887 this year. Like, don't fucking tell me Martin Jones is actually good now. Fuck. God, just open it. You guys all have the internet, right? You can pull this stuff up. Fuck.
Oh man. 1408 Ibarra. How does the other Sharkverse look if we never traded Karlsson?
Who knows, man? Maybe, Joe Pavelski's probably won like 17 Conn Smythes and
Oh wow. 17 Conn Smythes in 5
17
years.
Conn Smythes.
It's Steve Rector. Let's just go down the chat. It's epic how much this team sucks. Ricky Bartonslayer, I wish this team sucked more. AO
Yeah,
one
me
two three
too.
four five, still not as sucky as Columbus. Yeah, we need to take that step back and get worse in the next 12 games.
Could we please?
And Michael Molasses, really? Oh my God, Ian Martin Jones is so good. No, that's only the Sioux. The Sioux is so effing good.
Oh no, that's fine. I will hear it in Discord later.
Speaking of just another Randy G, thank you for the $10 super chat.
Yes,
Angry Ian is angry.
I'm not even that angry though. I just
know,
like
but
some of
it's
these
hilarious.
things are just yeah.
All right.
I just like. Can this team just suck properly? Can we do something right? We couldn't win properly. We can't even lose properly. Like, just do one thing right, San Jose. But after this week, because I got a pucknologist thing where I said there would be 3 loser points. So we got to ride this shit out.
One.
Sorry, guys. Sorry.
Yep, there's one.
Some robots just want to watch the world burn.
Yes.
Yeah.
So for the tanking for Bedard, Columbus is at 49. San Jose clinging on to the number 2 spot, even though they've lost 7 in a row. They're clinging on to the number 2 spot because they've lost 7 in a row. They're at 53 points with 19, 37, 15. They match Calgary for the most overtime losses. Chicago is at 54. Anaheim is at 56. Ian, at this point, I think it's time. We're gonna break out. We're tankathon. We're tankathoning, people. All right, here we go. So thank you, Tankathon, so much. All right, we're gonna do this. We're gonna reset after each time. Let's see what we got here, folks. First, let's sim lottery first time. Chicago. God damn it. Chicago wins it. The Sharks stay at number 2. At least they get Fantilli on that one. All right, come on. Come on, big bucks, no whammies. Buffalo wins the draft lottery. It only goes up 10 spots. Thank God. Jesus. We stay at number 2 there. All right, not too bad so far. Come on, number 3. I swear I hit it, so everything stayed the same. All right.
All right.
Number 4. Detroit leapfrogs and gets Fantilli. Oh boy,
that would suck. You want to, if you ever want to watch Ian cry live on air, just watch our draft lottery show. And we do it live, like we do every year.
May 8th.
May 8th. I'll make sure I book it off so that I'm home and we can do this live.
Yes.
And maybe I'll cry on air. We'll see.
Yes, last one. Come on. No, of course, Chicago and then Philadelphia. Oh boy, let's just plan an outdoor game while we're at it. Like seriously. All right. So the Sharks didn't get number 1 overall, but they definitely stayed number 2 3 out of the 5 times. So that's nice to see.
Yeah, I don't. If they fall to like 4 or 5, then you're gonna see some real tears. It's gonna be bad.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be a mess.
Yeah. Detege. By the way, since you've been in here, the chat, explain. Give me the pronunciation so I can get it right. I really want to get that right. There. No, we need top end talent. Lanical saying, I mean, it's a top 5 pick. You're going to get somebody useful in this deep draft.
Yeah, I mean, you get someone useful, but I think that Hunter Bedard is like the guy, right? Like obviously that's the prize. But I like Fantilli a lot. I think some of the other guys, like you're right. If the Sharks draft 4 or 5, like they're still gonna get a guy. I just think that not getting Bedard or Fantilli would just not be fun.
No, it wouldn't be. Just after this season, I mean, it could quite conceivably be where the Sharks, and I'm looking here realistically, the Sharks have won 19 games. The next closest is Columbus at 21. It's quite conceivable the Sharks could have the fewest wins in the NHL and end up picking 4th or 5th overall.
Look, I mean,
and that fucking blows. Pardon my French.
But I mean, if you look at, if you want to talk about, Bettman's favorite teams or everything, right? Like the Coyotes have been fucked by this 100 million times. Like the draft lottery has been the Coyotes' worst nightmare.
I'm sorry, it's not our fault that they've won 4 in a row. 6-2-2 in their last 10. Come on.
No. But I mean, but if you look at like the history of the lottery, like I feel like the Coyotes always get shafted down further down than they should have, like than they would have normally. Like they always seem to get shunted by other teams jumping ahead of them.
Oh, absolutely. Burge 7F91 with a $5
Yeah.
super chat. Thank you very much. What does the 2024 draft look like? How deep is
Oh,
it?
I am. That is not an Ian question. I appreciate the $5, and I wish I had an answer for you. But I don't. It's man, there was a time where I used to watch a lot of hockey, regardless of what league, just trying to keep track of all this stuff. And honestly, man,
You
I don't have that time anymore. And I don't even wish that I do, because honestly, like I like having my family and doing stuff with my family. So, I man, I focus on the year that is at this point, because I do appreciate the super chat, and I wish that I could give you an answer worth that money. I'm unfortunately I would rather not spin some bullshit for you though, and tell you what it is, and the answer is I don't know.
considering how they've been talking about this draft, how deep this draft is, that you would have to think there's going to be a little bit of I don't want to say letdown in 2024, but again, that'd
No,
be
because I
completely
feel like
speculatory.
I feel like every draft there's always I think that the hype for Bedard is real, but every draft, like every the top couple of guys always get super hyped, whether they earn it or not. I think you've seen that with a couple of drafts, like obviously um, Alexis Lafreniere, for example.
Right.
You know, so like there's always hype at for the draft, but whether a player actually lives up to it or not
Yeah.
remains to be seen. But I think like Connor Bedard is the real deal in this situation. Like Connor Bedard is the guy who probably is your first overall pick if he's in any draft, like within 10 years behind, or 5 years behind or 5 years ahead of where he's drafted. He's probably still the undisputed guy.
Yeah. Um, Jesse Littlefield on YouTube, new rabbit roll. Are the Shakes capable of developing a top tier talent? I have no idea.
I think with a guy like Connor Bedard, most of the tools are there already. I don't know if there's much to develop there, um, other than just helping him adjust to the pro game, right? Like I don't think, like no one's sitting here saying, "Oh man, the Oilers did such a great job developing McDavid." No, because McDavid's just fucking McDavid, right? And then that's how I feel about Connor Bedard.
Right. Right. AO12345 on YouTube. On the bright side, drafting this high, we won't get another Goldobin or Mueller. Ouch.
You would hope not, especially not in this draft. No, I mean unless the Sharks go way off the fucking board, and if they do fire everyone, and maybe we I don't know.
Timber's still around, so who knows?
Yeah, but that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Maybe we'd be,
we
but
say that,
but I say if the Sharks, somehow get like second overall and go way off the fucking board, I don't know for Teal Town USA next year. Maybe we find a different color. I don't know. Fuck this team at that point.
Oh boy.
Yeah, sorry guys. I apologize. I know there's something in my computer that causes my mic to spike every once in a while, and I'm not sure what it is. I've been trying to sort it out. It's a power thing, I think, because the wiring in my house is really old, and I think it's a wiring issue. I apologize. I don't think a different mic would change it. I think it's either a Skype thing or it's just a power thing where the power fluctuates in my house a little bit, and it does weird things.
We hope every now and then for it, when it does happen, that he gets angry, and it's very timely when it happens.
Yeah, I do apologize. It's something that I wish I could get sorted out. I've tried to look into it because I noticed it happens like pretty much regardless, and I don't believe it's my mic because I've had this problem with other mics as well.
Yeah. All right, LM, what's the per jersey of the night? I'm wearing what Jasper Weatherby would have worn if he played in the global games. So
there you go.
So there you go. Only $500 at the Shark store. Oh God. Just another Randy G. You'll be in Vancouver on Thursday.
Hey,
With my left.
enjoy.
Oh, nice. We'll be looking for you. Have fun. That's one of the places I really want to get up to go see. So, all right.
If the Sharks draft third overall, who should they draft? Should they take Michkov or Carlson? Michkov scares me a little bit. I like Carlson a lot, though, so I might lean Carlson. But I think it's definitely something that's worthy of debate. I don't know if a lot of people would agree with my take on Carlson. But Carlson is a prospect that I do like a lot.
And Michkov is signed with the KHL for a couple more years after this season, so I know that's been a little bit of an issue,
I always get nervous with Russian players right now, especially with our current climate, and it would be so Sharks to draft a guy and then have him just never come to North America. To me that would be just so Sharks.
For sure. Yeah, and Carlson getting some much love in the chat and on there. So alrighty. Well, I think that pretty much puts a bow on this one. So in case you missed anything or you want to watch this again, check us out on tealtownusa.com or your favorite podcatcher, whether it's Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, TuneIn, iHeart, Odyssey, also now on Amazon Music. We should also mention that as well. Always available at tealtownusa.com. Of course, if you're watching on the YouTube channel, leave a comment down below after you like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. Tell us what you think of tonight's game. Entertaining, of course. Did you want Reimer to lose badly? Are you disappointed Connor McDavid only had 2 points tonight to basically ruin the start of your fantasy hockey playoffs? Damn it, Connor. What the hell? It's the freaking Sharks, for crying out loud. Yes, I do have Connor McDavid in my fantasy hockey league right now. And also,
is there any way Michkov slides the Devils? I know we're trying to wrap this up.
No, you're good.
I think that there's going to be a little bit of buyer beware on Russian players because, again, we just don't know what tomorrow is going to bring as far as the relationship between Russia and North America, especially if anything, we just, with all this stuff in the Ukraine and we don't know how that's going to escalate. And and then maybe just Russia doesn't want to let their players leave. You never know what could come, right? So I think there's definitely a little bit of buyer beware on Russian players in this current climate of this insanity that we're all living right now.
Yeah, little nervousness. About that, especially what's been going on this week. That New Jersey pick that the Sharks currently sits at 28. So we'll see on that. We will be back with you following Sharks in Vancouver. Yes, somebody did say Vancouver, not Skip. Did somebody say Vancouver? That is a Thursday night game. I believe it's you and me, Ian.
It is you and me. I'm looking right now.
Nice.
How did this happen? I am just I'm on all the shows. Oh, it's because that's right. It's because I did Pucknologist yesterday. All right. I was like, how am I doing so many shows this week? And now I understand.
Hashtag all Ian, baby.
Ian, baby.
In fact, he'll be covering the two Kuhre games, or what, Tuesday, Wednesday? I mean,
in the week? That's unfortunate. Covering them. Yeah.
We are not letting Ian sleep.
Thrilled. No, apparently not. My wife is not going to be happy.
Yeah. So, Ian, appreciate you. We appreciate all the viewers watching. Of course, hit us up everywhere on the social media. We are now.
Ian's getting a divorce. Maybe not.
Well, that's icing on the power play. That's never good. Oh boy. Wow. His wife is probably going to say the same thing Randy says here.
Better not F with me.
All right. Yeah, I'm getting a divorce. This is happening.
Oh boy.
All right.
Well, on that note, for the soon-to-be divorced Ian Reid, I feel like I'm in an episode of Steve Dangle podcast, Divorce. I am Erik Kuhre. You can follow me at PuckGuy14 on the Twitter and Instagram. Again, we'll be back with you Thursday night following Sharks in Vancouver. We appreciate each and every one of you. If you are wanting more content, check us out on the YouTube channel. Ian did a Pechnologist with AJ. That was so. What?
In the chat, it's a callback to yesterday. He said Ian's wife is going vegan just to spite him. Amazing.
Yeah. And Kevin, thank you, buddy. Thank you for following. Yeah, we got. It's not enabled yet, but you can follow us on the Twitch at Tealtown USA. So be on the lookout with that. So thanks for watching, and until next time, keep it real, keep it teal, keep it real teal. Have a great night, everyone. We'll see you after Sharks and Canucks on Thursday.